Okay, so we are in vocabulary. You'll find that we're doing week 1, and that's where you're going to find the videos for this week. So I'm going to have you grab your vocabulary journal. So let me head over to our camera here so that you can see that. Okay, so there's our vocabulary journal. You got to decorate yours however you wanted to. So when we turn the page, the very first thing I want you to do is I want you to write page 1 in the corner, and I'd like you to write the date. Today is 9, which stands for September, 8/20, which stands for 2020. So we have the month, the day, and the year. All right, so today what we're going to do is we are going to write down our 5 words for this week, and then we're going to write down a definition. Now this I really enjoy when we are in class together because you help me with all of these things. So we're going to go ahead, and our first word, let me get us back here. Let me get us back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and get started on our first word. So we're going to write in this little space here. So your first word is the word fragile. Fragile. So let me just tell you one thing. If you do every single thing with me in this book, when we do our test, you're allowed to use your book, and it will help you so you can look things up. If you don't write anything down, then your book's not going to really help you. So please take your time to write this down in your vocabulary book. So fragile. Fragile. What do you think the word fragile means? So thinking about a rock, would you think that is fragile? Or thinking about a glass figurine, would that be fragile? Think about when you're dropping it. Would the rock be fragile? Or would the glass figurine be fragile? So fragile means easily broken or damaged. So up here under definition, we're going to write easily broken or damaged. Okay? Easily broken or damaged. So if we said the glass figurine is fragile, fragile is describing the figurine. So what part of speech do we call a word that describes the noun? So what we would call that is an adjective. So we're going to write that down right here. It's an adjective. Fragile is an adjective. You would use that in a sentence to describe the noun. All right, so push pause if you need to look at this and get it all filled in before we move to the next one. And you can always rewatch the whole video if you needed to. But push pause so that you can get fragile, easily broken or damaged, and that it's an adjective. All right, we're going to go to the second one, which is research. Research. Take your time to make sure you spell everything correctly so it'll help you when you're looking things up. Research. So if you wanted to understand about potato bugs, you would need to do some research. So what do you think a definition for research might be? So to research something means we're going to study a specific subject. So if you want to know how to make your own stop animation videos, you're going to research just about stop animation videos. You're not going to look up how Doritos makes their chips if you're trying to figure out how to make a video. So it's very specific to what you want to look up. So if research means you're going to be doing something, what part of speech do we call a word that shows action or doing? Alrighty, if you were thinking verb, you are right on. Research is an action, something that you do. Go ahead and push pause if you need some time to get all of this written down. I want to make sure you have it written in your book. Our next word is defend. Defend. So if you have to defend your side or your story about something that happened, you are going to want to prove that your story is correct. So our definition will be to prove by giving evidence. So I don't know how many of you may have seen the Cheetos commercial, but there's a Cheetos commercial where the dad comes in and asks the family, who ate all of my Cheetos? And the mom and the kids are sitting there saying, like a look on their face like, I don't know, it wasn't me. And so he turns off the light and gets a black light. It's a special light. And he shines it, and everybody, including the dog, has Cheeto dust all over their fingers and their face. So if they said they didn't do it, he just proved that they did by giving evidence that was there. So defend is something you do. It's an action. So what part of speech are we going to do again? Verb. You are right. All right, make sure you pause so you can get this written down. And when you're done getting it written down, we're going to turn the page and flip it over so that it's right on the back side. So when I turn it, there's 1, and now I turn it over, and I'm going to write number 2, because this is page 2 in the corner. If you want to write the date again, you can. You don't have to, but you can if you'd like to. All right, our next word is specific. Specific. Now, did you see that word anywhere already today? Specific. Let's look back here. Study a specific subject. So specific is our word today, and that means to be particular or precise. It's just a certain thing. So it's not just everything, it's a very specific thing. All right, so to be particular or precise. Precise means it is exactly what it should be. So I would like a specific donut out of the box. I would like the donut to have sprinkles. So that is a specific donut. And it's describing what kind of donut I want. So this word is, what do we call a word that describes a noun? Did you say adjective? Good job. Again, pause. We've got one more word to go. So pause this part and get that written down and then come back for our last word. All right, our last word is pledge. When we are in school every morning, we will say the pledge. What is a pledge? Or if you are in a Girl Scouts or a Boy Scouts, you might make a pledge. If you're in a certain club, you might make a pledge. And a pledge means a promise or an agreement. To do or not to do. So, excuse me, let me add one more thing here. To do something. So if you are going to join a club, you might have to promise that you are going to do certain things, or you have to promise that you're not going to do certain things. So when you're doing the RAD program, when you get to be 4th and 5th graders, you're pledging to be drug-free. So you are pledging or promising not to use drugs because you want to be a healthy, happy person. When you pledge to the flag, you are making a promise or an agreement that you are an American citizen and you promise to protect our American values. All right, and pledge says right here is something. If it's a thing, what part of speech would that be? That is right. You got it. It's a noun. Very good. All right. So go ahead and pause again and get this written down in your book. We want to make sure that we have 5 words and 5 definitions. Fragile, research, defend, specific, and pledge. Okay, once you are finished with that, you're going to go ahead and close your book, and we're going to get out our reading and grammar notebook next. And I will see you in the grammar folder in our Edmodo class. So we're going to go to the grammar folders. Let me go back. I'm going to go to my folders, and there's grammar. And week 1 is nouns. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I will see you in the next video talking about nouns.